It's an October afternoon in the early 2010s. My buddy and I decide on a whim to sit down and watch a film, a 1999 found footage movie called The Blair Witch Project, where 3 film students venture to Burkittsville, Maryland to film a documentary on a local legend, the Blair Witch. They begin by interviewing the locals and things turn dark pretty quickly. They learn about a ton of terrible things that have happened amidst sightings of the witch. They come up with more questions than answers, so they gear up and hike toward Coffin Rock in the Black Hill Woods. This is a very good name for a creepy forest and a very familiar sounding setup to a D&D adventure. Let's see what other similarities we can find. Over the course of the film, the students head deeper into the woods and further into the realm of the witch. Things do not go well. They disturb a symbolic pile of rocks that may be a poppet indicating a spiritual boundary or warning. Their map disappears, they begin to fight amongst themselves, their compass malfunctions and leads them in circles.
Oh, that's the tree we crossed. That tree is down, that's the same one!
Soon, they become lost. This is the least of their worries because as they make camp for the night, a supernatural presence begins to terrorize and stalk them. They awaken each morning to increasingly creepy activity. First, piles of rocks appear around their camp, and then wooden totems hang from the trees. Later, one of the students disappears and is heard screaming in the middle of the night, before bits of him turn up the next morning, wrapped in a cloth torn from his shirt. What was his name again?
Josh!
Josh! Josh!
Josh!
Josh! Josh!
Hey, that's my name. And now you know why this film has stuck with me throughout the years. I hadn't played D&D yet when I first watched this movie, but clearly it left an impression. The very first session I ever ran had the heroes putting down a group of goblins, going to sleep, and then waking up to piles of rocks and wooden totems hanging from the trees. Wow, original. The point of this intro is to showcase my personal inspiration for hags in D&D. Whenever I run one, this is my baseline. And this is the type of encounter I want to bring to you today. My name is Josh, and this is how I run. My goal for this video is to give you a basic modular formula for running hags in your games. In my opinion, these are the elements that make for a good hag encounter. The symptoms of a hag: the hook, the hag's domain, a wicked name, tricky powers, unsettling combat. Let's dive right in. Somebody call a doctor, cause we can almost treat a hag like a disease of the population. The longer she stays around, the worse the symptoms progress, and the more damage she can do. I outlined in my previous video that hags delight in the suffering of others. So what will your hag do to torture these townsfolk? Well, in the film we see a town that borders on the witch's domain. We find out that ever since her first sighting, children have gone missing, people were unalived, and oily bundles of sticks showed up in the creek, poisoning it. It's all very compelling, it makes you want answers. Let's think of what the regular people in town must be going through.
Whoa, she turned me into a newt! A newt. I got better.
The anger, paranoia, infighting, suspicion, the economy literally in shambles. Some people will live in fear and want to leave, others may deny her presence altogether. Others might be trying to organize an angry mob to go hunt her down. Here's an element I love including. Have a few of the townsfolk level accusations towards the party. A lot of groups enjoy and expect the NPCs to treat them as heroes, so calling this into question will evoke a wide variety of emotions in the party. All of these are symptoms of the hag. If left to fester, they will bring out the worst in people, which begs another question. How will the hag interact with the town? Does she disguise herself to walk among them and spread rumors? Does she announce her presence brazenly? Or does she take on a supernatural form and just kinda stand there? Or is it a combination? Whatever the case, hags play an active role in corrupting the environment around them, whether the people know it or not. And how the NPCs respond to that is a great way to showcase her vile acts and light a fire under the party to do something about it. This hag has made the town sick, and the heroes could be the cure. But how will we get the players to buy in? The plot hook is where the players interface with everything we've just discussed. A good plot hook should grab the player's attention, identify a problem to be solved, provide a piece of the puzzle, and compel the party to look into things further. It's the DM's way of pointing the heroes in a certain direction. Hag-related adventures will naturally include mystery elements, and a good plot hook will do a lot of heavy lifting for that type of story. Here's a few examples. The evil Tooth Fairy. A group of the town's children vanished from their beds in the middle of the night. All but one of them turned up 3 days later with awful pain in their mouths. The children don't remember a thing, but Each of them has a tooth missing, replaced with a carved black rock wedged deep into their gums. What happened, and where is the missing child? Bad medicine. A strange pox has been spreading throughout the village. The sores are so painful that those afflicted are unable to sleep. Luckily, the town's apothecary has produced a helpful tincture. The downside? Nobody who has drunk the potion has woken up. The first person to try it went to sleep 5 days ago. If a tree falls, a quarter of the town has vanished. A new logging operation started a month ago, and ever since, anybody who has ventured into the Ikerwood, the forest bordering town, has not returned. After the second rescue party disappeared, they stopped sending rescue parties. In addition, folks have started seeing a large black bird, not native to the area. It doesn't eat or make a sound, it just seems to be watching. A few days ago, it dropped a wooden hand from its beak as it flew over town. The wedding ring on this hand belonged to the leader of the first rescue party. So again, we have a attention grabber, problem to be solved, a piece of the puzzle, all of which should combine to motivate the heroes to help. We will actually be using this third plot hook for our encounter today. Let's assume the party does their thing, arriving in town and gathering info, D&D stuff. No sign of the bird for the first few nights until they spot it late one evening and immediately give chase. And of course, it flies right into the forest. Where is it headed? Well, to find out, we move away from the hag's target and look at where she hangs her pointed hat. For the hag's domain, we look at two things: location and type of structure. For me, the most fitting place for a hag to reside is deep in the heart of an ancient forest, an isolated place where she can keep her home well protected. Even better if there's a village nearby in case she gets a little snackish. For type of structure, I like the idea of a quaint wooden hut. For higher fantasy settings, we may take a page from Baba Yaga and create a more fantastical building. Maybe the hut could sprout wings and fly, or nearby trees could animate to give it limbs. But for our low-level encounter here, boneless architecture is fine. I'll be using the green hag for this adventure. She fits our forest setting pretty well. But a strength of hags is that they come in many varieties, making it easy to swap this one out for a sea hag in an ocean cave near the coast, or a beer hag in gingerbread... A beer hag? Beer hag in a gingerbread cottage on a mountain. Describing where a monster lives can give us insight into what it enjoys and what it finds important. It's a nice fun bit of world building that's great in small doses. There's going to be a lot going on in these spaces, so best to prepare something ahead of time. I would describe the hut's interior as a dim and cluttered space bathed in a sickly green light, where shadows dance across a smoke-stained ceiling. The smell of musty tomes and rot hangs in the air, coupled with an alchemical stench wafting from the room's centerpiece, a bathtub-sized cauldron. The cauldron bubbles loudly, joined by the whistle of an old kettle and the scurrying of vermin under the mossy floorboards. The floor plan is an improvised mess of uncanny furniture: an angry-looking stove with crackling green flame, a listing vanity cabinet, a rotten pile of cloth that serves as a bed. Cages are piled in one corner, bones in another. Simultaneously devoid of life and claustrophobically cluttered, this liminal space communicates that no comfort or welcome will be found here. Inside the hag's hut is always bigger than the outside. The first thing we see is the centerpiece, this large cauldron with a weeping face. This is literally where the magic happens. It will give her a legendary action when we get to combat. Next we see her favorite rocking chair and all the other definitely not living furniture. Okay, I lied just now. Some people garden, some people birdwatch. Our hag makes people into furniture. Everybody needs a hobby. Not straight up flesh sculptures like that one creepypasta you might remember, but more of a Beauty and the Beast style, sentient furniture that she has complete command of. It also serves as a warning for what will happen if the characters lose a fight with this hag. They might show up in Hell's IKEA catalog. Barb the Barbarian might end up as a broom. This is a good segue. How does our hag get around? A 30-foot movement speed means she will need help on her commute. I've seen giant cauldrons, mortars, giant skulls. You could even give her a mount if you really wanted to. I'll be sticking with the Broom of Flying. It's a classic, what can I say? So I realize I've just been calling her the hag up until now. How about we give her a name? I did this for my White Dragon video and people seem to get a kick out of it, so here we go again. Find your hag name based on your date of birth and favorite D&D class. For example, if you're born on July 14th and you love clerics, you would be Granny Fleshpeeler, the Cackling Crone. Feel free to comment your hag name below. These names might not be lore accurate, but they are kind of fun. Just something to get you started. I went with the name Auntie Merrill, as this was the name of the first hag I ever ran in D&D. Auntie Merrill has been very busy. Using her ability to turn invisible, cloak herself in illusion, and mimic voices and sounds, she has successfully guarded her territory. I mean, first those destructive simpletons cut down her trees, then those annoying villagers came poking around. Now more outsiders have shown up. She'll show them. The fools are following her right now, and she's leading them deeper into her territory and into a trap. Most of the Green Hag's powers lend themselves to deception and stealth. Yes, Granny has a couple of cantrips and a wicked right hook, but that won't matter if the party manages to corner her. Now, the Monster Manual does have a few additional legendary actions and regional effects to help out in this department, but the way it's presented reads to me like only especially powerful hags or a coven of hags would have access to these powers. I don't want to alter the stat block of this hag too much, due to this being a simple, low-level encounter. So we'll have to wait and see what Merrill has in store for the party. The heroes chase the bird all throughout the forest, never quite catching up. They eventually tire, slow, and become lost. When Ruby the Ranger rolls a natural 20 survival check to try and escape the forest, her worst fears are realized. They haven't changed direction for over an hour, and somehow they are right back where they started. I call this effect the Pac-Man maze. Unless the hag wants you to leave, you can't. Should you walk east, you'll emerge on the western side of the forest. The only way out is to confront her, and that is when they hear the bird calling and see smoke rising from a wooden building in the distance. The heroes draw their weapons, light their torches, and approach the wooden hut. Perched upon it is the bird, which seems to melt away and vanish inside. Auntie Merrill is waiting for them. This is her home, and she will punish these wicked folk who come with fire and sword. The party is ready to save the village. They will drive this hag from these lands and escape her foul spell. They rush inside, ready for combat. And what an uncomfortable combat it will be. I imagine hags as a sort of wicked artificer. Sure, they have a few tricks and powers, but it's the things that they make that pack the most punch. You'll see what I mean. As the party enters the hut, we roll initiative. There is no hag to be seen, however. She's invisible right over here. This hut is packed to the gills with traps that the hag is counting on the party charging right into. Remember the furniture? Well, depending on the strength of the party, we have a choice to make. If the party is made up of low-level baby characters, we can treat each piece of furniture as a trap. Walk near the stove, it spews smoke. Walk near the tub, it splashes you with gross bathwater. The bed will chomp and swallow you whole. The kettle will blind you. The vanity will imprison you within its mirror. Very nasty stuff, but a hag encounter is kinda supposed to be that way. Low-level adventurers don't have a ton of hit points, so a way to extend the combat and make it memorable is to focus less on inflicting damage and more on inflicting status effects to the characters and psychic damage to the players. Make it uncomfortable. Describe the taste of the yucky bathwater as it splashes their character and a little bit gets in their mouth. Ugh. Describe the itchy sensation of bed bugs as the bed itself chomps down on the cleric and swallows them. Maybe the alchemy cabinet chucks a potion at the barbarian that causes all their hair to fall out. This is way more memorable than 2d8 plus 4 bludgeoning damage. Do you see where I'm coming from? Sidebar, I feel I would be remiss if I didn't say, use safety tools and talk to your players. Don't try to actively trigger them. Just make them feel, ugh. Psychic damage or no, a stronger party will shrug off a few traps. If this is the case, then we can give each piece of furniture a proper stat block. Here's one I made for the stove. Whatever traps we built for these constructs now become just special actions they can perform on their turn. Adding enemies on the board will naturally divide the party's attention, even out the action economy, and allow the hag to throw a punch without getting swarmed. Now this is fine for a simple combat, but we can take it a step further. An element I'd like to include is a ticking clock. Remember I mentioned a pile of cages in the corner? Well, that's where a few of the missing people are being held. If Franklin the fighter rushes over to pick the lock, he will get a nasty surprise. A cage to the face. All of the cages, most with people in them, begin to rattle and move and form a cage golem, which will swing on Franklin as soon as he gets too close. Damaging the golem means potentially hurting those inside. Now this isn't a big deal, you just don't attack the golem, right? The people will be safe? Well, remember the giant cauldron. As a bonus action, the hag can cause the cauldron to tip over and splash somebody. The target has to make a saving throw against a modified flesh to stone type spell. Fail 3 times, get turned into furniture. This is definitely bad, but as long as we make our saving throws... Oh, the golem just dropped a cage into the cauldron. Fantastic. Do we attack? Do we help the person in the cage who's probably screaming? Or do we fish Derek the cleric out of the bed? Uncomfortable choices are the moldy bread and butter of our Hag encounter. Without all these other elements, she's just a mediocre spellcaster with a decent armor class.
Mediocre?
As with all intelligent monsters, keep the Hag out of harm's way the best you can. If things don't go her way, she'll hop on her broom and get out. The last decision point is this: what kind of ending do we want? Do we want to end on a happy or sad note? We can have everyone restored through magic or healing or alchemy. Everybody goes home. In a dark fantasy game, people are just stuck as furniture. This kind of applies to any scheme that a Hag is cooking up. Not everybody makes it out. These are things to think about when you're creating the adventure. Hags are a very versatile and iconic monster. There are many kinds, many places to put them, and many wicked things they could be up to. I hope to have inspired you for your next Hag encounter. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something, were entertained, or ideally both. Be sure to do the YouTube stuff, something about a bell. Goodbye.